Hallo zusammen. Welcome to the second part of me analyzing the German bar scene in X-Men First Class with Magneto. What is interesting about it from a linguistic point of view for German language learners or people that are just interested in different languages. So without further ado, let's continue.
Ja, ist Bitburger. Schmeckt gut, ne?
The second part, schmeckt gut, ne? It's also elliptic because you could say das schmeckt gut, ne? This tastes good, right? Or you could also use the neuter pronoun es schmeckt gut, ne? Because once again, das Bier is neuter. And a pronoun stands in place of another noun. It represents it basically. So instead of saying das Bier or das Bitburger, you could simply say es, allowing for a little bit of variation and pretty much also being shorter.
Ja, ist Bitburger. Schmeckt gut, ne?
Translates to, yes, ist Bitburger. Tastes good, right? For schmecken, to taste, and gut, good. One more thing that I have to mention about the second phrase is the N of it.
Schmeckt gut, ne?
Ne? It may be a short word, just two letters, right? N-E. Ne? The E is ne? But it's highly typical. It's a conversational particle that you can find at the end of many, many German sentences. It's basically the German equivalent of you know. Of course, the Germans don't really think about it when they say it, but when you analyze it, why do they say it in the first place? It can serve two different functions, primarily. The first one is, it's used to make sure that the recipient, the person you're talking to, has understood your message. They have gotten your message. And or you also want to make sure that someone agrees with you. Du siehst das auch so, ne? You're also thinking the same, right? And in this context, as you might have heard, it's not you know, it's rather right?
Schmeckt gut, ne?
There are also regional differences and variations of this. For instance, in the state of Hessen and more southern German areas, some people may say Gell instead of ne. Or in my region, for instance, which is the Sauerland. Beautiful region, lots of nature. Come and go hiking here, it's awesome. Which is located in West Germany in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. We would say something like Woll, or Wonnig, or Wo, or also ne. It's also common to say that here. So we have a few different options to go to in a way.
Ja, ist Bitburger. Schmeckt gut, ne? Das Beste.
Das Beste. The best. It's the superlative form of gut. Good. Gut, besser, am besten. Good, better, best. Not only highlighting the quality of German beer, of course, because we invented das Reinheitsgebot, which declared that beer is only allowed to be brewed with 3 ingredients. And once again, it's elliptic. He could have said, es ist das beste Bier. It is the best beer. But just saying das Beste is sufficient enough.
Das Beste. Das hat sie nach Argentinien verschlagen.
Very good delivery by Michael Fassbender. And also to give you a little bit of context here, Michael Fassbender is of German-Irish descent. However, his main language is English. It's just interesting to highlight that for you guys and to really hear the subtleties and to get a feeling for the importance of details, if that makes sense. One thing that he did very well and that I could imagine is quite tricky for German language learners is he used the throaty in nach, which is correct.
Das hat sie nach Argentinien verschlagen.
Why do I stress this? In standard German, we distinguish between two types of sounds, if you will. There's the light one that I just said, and there's a more darker, throaty one, in nach, for instance. And as you can hear, the pronunciation differs quite a lot. They correlate with the vowel that comes before them. In the case of nach, it's a dark vowel, relatively dark vowel. The same applies to o and u. So it's nach, Buch, noch. In those German words, you would use the more throaty version. However, for the vowels e and e, you would use the lighter one, the hissing type of sound. For instance, you would use that in the first person personal pronoun in singular, ich, I, ich, Almost feel like a cat right now. Now to two little things that I noticed, and they both appear in the last word. Verschlagen.
Was hat sie nach Argentinien verschlagen?
Was hat sie nach Argentinien verschlagen? Maybe you noticed the difference. Once again, not to discredit him in any way, shape or form, quite the opposite. He's an awesome actor. He used a soft v at the end of verschlagen.
Verschlagen.
Even though it's much more like an F.
Verschlagen.
Verschlagen. However, I understand why it's tricky. For two reasons. First of all, in English, you would enunciate the V, the V, very soft. In vague, for instance. It's not fake, but it's vague, right? So that is much more common in English. The second reason is, arguably, you may find one or two German words that have the v, vage, for instance, vague. But generally speaking, most of the time, it's F. For instance, in der Vogel, singular, die Vögel, plural, the bird, F. So it's not Vogel, but it's Vogel. The second thing that he did is a great way to show the difference between written German and spoken German. The term verschlagen ends in en, and that ending, that suffix, is typical. You can find it in every single verb in its infinite form. Suchen, to search. En at the end, for instance, right? And you can also find that at the end of some conjugated forms of verbs. For instance, with wir, we, first person plural. Wir suchen, we are searching. And you may have noticed something. Once again, he said something like verschlagen.
Verschlagen.
We wouldn't pronounce the E in that suffix, en. So we would say verschlagen, but you spell it with en. I guess pronouncing that becomes especially tricky when there is a G, a G in front of it, which is the case here. Verschlagen. So it's Sounds stupid, I know. It is the German language. What can I do?
Was hat sie nach Argentinien verschlagen?
Ach, das Klima? Ich bin Schweinebauer.
His delivery, the way he used his mouth and shaped his mouth while saying that, also reminded me of Jack Nicholson, like a snout almost.
Schweinebauer.
Anyway, apart from being elliptic once again, because he could have said something like, "Och, ich bin wegen des Klimas nach Argentinien gezogen." Well, I moved to Argentina because of the weather, the climate. It's much longer, and you also get your point across in a shorter phrase. But apart from that, he used an interesting interjection. Och.
Och.
It correlates with the English well at the start of a sentence, for instance, you know. Och, wegen des Klimas. Well, because of the climate.
Ach, das Klima? Ich bin Schweinebauer.
Ich bin Schweinebauer. I'm a pig farmer. It's der Schweinebauer, singular. Die Schweinebauern, plural, the pig farmer. It's a compound word, which is the most often used structural device in order to come up to create new German words. Because it's a combination of das Schwein, singular, die Schweine, plural, the pig, and der Bauer, singular, die Bauern, plural, the farmer. Both terms, by the way, also feature diphthongs, once again, fixed vowel combinations. In das Schwein, it's E-I, but it's I, so it's a different pronunciation again. It's not Schwein, but it's Schwein. I, Schwein. And in Bauer, it's A-U, and this one is pretty easy because it remains the same. It pretty much gets pronounced the way it's written. It's Au, Bauer. Sometimes German can also be easy. Sometimes. Thanks for watching up until this point and see you in the next part of this analysis. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.